Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 22nd of May 2021. In this video, we'll be talking about a very important issue. This is going to be a bit lengthy, so I request your patience. And in this article, I'll be talking about the entire OBC reservation history, the present constitutional crisis after the Maratha quota judgment by Supreme Court. So let us have a look. The power to discriminate. This is with respect to the Maratha quota that we are discussing over the past few weeks. So this Maratha quota is about the reservation for Marathas in Maharashtra. The question that we are asking today is whether states can declare reservation for a particular community by breaching the 50% limit set by Indra Sawhney judgment. So this is the question that was raised. So in the Indra Sawhney judgment, Supreme Court declared that the maximum limit for reservation will be 50%, keeping in view the need for a room for merit. But this time, Maratha quota was introduced in Maharashtra, breaching this 50% limit, crossing well beyond that 50%. And the argument given by the state was that the number 50 was not at all rational. There is no rational ground. It is not in proportion with the population. So considering this question, the Supreme Court was given a challenge to make a judgment on whether states can actually give such kind of a reservation. So a couple of weeks earlier, Supreme Court declared that the Maharashtra law, which gave reservation benefits to the Maratha community, taking the constitutionally set limit beyond 50% as unconstitutional. So the law was struck down. So this is the premise of this article. So we have to understand the background of this entire Maratha quota issue. Let us go back to 2017. So in 2017, there was a commission which was set up by the Maharashtra government, and it is called N.G. Gaikwad Committee. So this N.G. Gaikwad Committee was given the responsibility to study whether Marathas should be given reservation. In 2018, the Maharashtra Assembly passed a bill proposing 16% reservation for the Maratha community. The Bombay High Court, while upholding the reservation, said that instead of 16, the reservation should be reduced to 12% in education and 13% in jobs. In part 3 of the constitution, we have right to equality. Basically, this part deals with the fundamental rights. So under article 15, it says that the state cannot discriminate only on the grounds of race, religion, caste, sex and place of birth, and provide certain exceptions. Because when we talk about article 14, that is right to equality, it means that we aspire to create equals equally and unequals unequally. So state can discriminate positively, that is to ensure that the persons are placed on a same pedestal. Imagine there is a person on the ground and there is another person somewhere in the pit here. So if we have to raise him to this equal level, we need to give him some positive push. So we need to discriminate in favor of this person because he has a historical disadvantage. So this is exactly the funda behind reservation. So article 15, there is a clause within that article 15 which says that the state can positively discriminate to uphold the rights or to empower the socially and educationally backward classes. So along with this article 15, there is another article, article 340 of the constitution, which says that we have to identify that socially and educationally backward classes, understand the conditions of their backwardness, and make recommendations to remove their difficulties. So in this context, we have historically had many commissions to take this up. In the 1950s, we have had the Kaka Kalelkar committee, and in the 1970s, we have had the famous BP Mandal commission. This Mandal commission has actually culminated into the 1992 Indira Sawhney judgment. We all know this. So the question right now is, in 2018, after the amendment, that is, we have had the 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act and created what is known as the National Commission for Backward Classes. So after this 102nd Amendment Act came into the picture, we have had two articles, that is Article 338B and we have had Article 342A, which were inserted after this. So what does this Article 338B says? It says that authority is given to this National Commission for Backward Classes to examine complaints and welfare measures regarding socially and educationally backward classes. So all the complaints will be taken up by NCBC and it is a constitutional body. And what does this Article 342A say? It gives President will have the power to specify who these socially and educationally backward classes are in various states. Who gets the power? President. We all know that President acts on the recommendations of the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Despite the fact that President would be consulting the governor of the state in deciding the backward classes in a state, does that mean the power of actually declaring a particular caste as a backward one is completely taken away from the state? So is this a challenge to the federalism, is the question raised after Supreme Court gave this judgment. Now this is where this article comes into the picture. As far as the judgment of the Supreme Court in this Maratha verdict case is concerned, so it says that it is actually the central government through the president's route that has the ultimate say in the castes that constitute SCBCs. However, when the question of a hit to the federalism or the federal structure in deciding which caste come under this SCBCs is concerned, what Supreme Court said was, states will still have the power to declare or to suggest to the central government which caste would come under this SCBC list and the quantum of reservation that these castes should be getting. They can all make recommendations to the center. Essentially, what we have to understand is, after this 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act, according to the interpretation of the judgment given by the Supreme Court, states can only recommend which castes can be included in this SCBC, but they cannot declare. So that is the present status, and this status is challenged by the union government itself, because the writer says that 102nd Amendment Act's intention was not to take away the powers of the state. So they have sought a review petition. You cannot centralize such powers without taking the federal principles into consideration. So that is not the interpretation of law. So here is this present situation. On one hand, the power to decide is with the center and states are reduced to just recommendatory bodies. In 1951, we have had the first Constitutional Amendment Act after the judgment given by the Supreme Court in Champakam Dorairajan case. We have a scenario where Article 15 Clause 4 was inserted, which gave states the power to identify certain castes as socially and educationally backward classes. So this is a constitutional mandate. States do have the power. So until 1992, if you take a look at the historical development, there is no central list of OBCs at all. It is only after 1992 Indira Sawhney judgment we have had the Mandal Commission and an OBC reservation which followed. So 27% of OBC reservation in government jobs started in 1992, which was later extended a few years afterwards to educational sector as well. So until then there was no central list. We have had only the state list. So even while there was a discussion and debate about the status of states in the 102nd Constitution Amendment Act, that is the National Commission for BCs, when it became a constitutional body, there was some doubt about Article 342 Clause 1. So this clause was doubted upon by a lot of states and legal experts, that this would take away the power of states to declare their own list of SCBCs. In this context, the Ministry of Social Justice has clearly laid down that no, that is not the case. The centre does not intend to take away the powers that it had under this Article 342(1). In that context, the government clearly, through the ministry, laid down that the objective of this 102nd amendment is to ensure that the status of OBCs, or technically the socially and educationally backward classes, is safeguarded. And then the second aspect is that it aims to give the constitutional status to NCBC, that is National Commission for Backward Classes, so that there is independence and security of tenure for its members. So giving constitutional status will make it an autonomous body, and the interests of these particular set of classes would be safeguarded. But what happened in the Maratha case was that the Supreme Court interpreted the text as President being responsible through Article 342 for the entire states as well. And it is in this context that Supreme Court said that centre should actually create a state-wise list for these SCBCs in different states. Until then, whatever is existing or whatever is created by the states would continue to exist. So all the states started complaining that this judgment is actually taking away the power that they had. So this article writer says that the original intention of the act was completely sidelined by Supreme Court. So there was a need for a review petition of this particular judgment. So a review petition was filed. Again, even if the review petition fails in the Supreme Court, what should we do? It is the duty of the centre to not distort with the federal structure of our constitution. So it should probably come out with an amendment to the existing act, clearly delineating the responsibility of centre and states. So through this amendment, it should be very clear that states can have their own SCBC list. So that is the gist of this article.